Hello, it's Mike Endicott again here. I'm just looking at some ideas here about why we should be interested in developing our lives alongside with the kingdom of God, to see what happens. It's a place a lot of us take for granted, a lot of us don't. So if you're interested, let's just have a think about something that's happening. I think all of us who know the Christian church would have to agree that the magnetism the church has today is nothing like the magnetism of the very earliest church, just after Pentecost. There you can see thousands and thousands of people coming to faith wonderfully, and having a very moving and a very magnetic church, attracting more and more people all the time, expanding all over Europe. Wonderful in its early days. These days we don't have that magnetism anymore. Now we just don't, and anything we try is just hard work, frankly. So let's have a look and think, well, they've got three options really we can take. One is we can ignore the gap altogether. That's what I call the gap between magnetism of the earliest type and magnetism today is the gap. We can ignore that altogether. In which case, I suggest to you that the structure of the Christian church will merely continue on its way down, however hard we try and keep it from collapsing. It is going down and down, horribly so, despite all our hard work. But if we ignore the fact that there's a gap altogether and just carry on regardless, that decline is going to continue. The second option that we have, I suppose, is to try and get our clever people to justify the gap in theological terms. And they do this mainly by saying, well, the Old Testament, of course, is there are eras which are disconnected. The first Old Testament era is the era of God managing through the law. Then we have the New Testament, which defines the second era of God, which is Jesus managed, Jesus bringing the kingdom, Jesus going away. And the third phase that we live in now, the third era, they call it the church era, where we're sitting here nicely and comfortably enjoying our fellowship and believing that we're probably doing the best we can do. Now, the difficulty with that is if you look behind those views and you start to explore them and debate them, you will very soon be drawing, won't we, a picture of our God who doesn't look a bit like Jesus. And that is extremely dangerous, ought to be raising red flags all over the place. The third option we have is that we can, in fact, set off on an adventure to try and rediscover, to regain, in fact, some of that magnetism that existed in the earliest church that brought so many thousands and thousands of people to Christ. And that can be regained. So that's our third option, is that we can set off together and try and regain some of that magnetism. And to that end, I'm hoping that you will subscribe to this channel so that anything else we say about that right now, you'll be notified of that. That would be really good. Also, please register your interest in what we're doing on our website, the Order of Jacob as well, or OJW is best, ojw.org.uk, and register your interest. And we'll be in touch and we'll talk some more.